Hey y'all, what's up everybody? Happy Sunday. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. As you guys can see, this is a interviewing live. So it's a little different from our regular live our regular live streams or whatever. I won't be too much into the chat so I don't get distracted because I will be interviewing Chrissy J. Some of you guys are familiar and some of you may not be familiar. It depends on when you actually came into this saga situation, when you started viewing it. She definitely played a role early on in the saga. But I'm gonna pretty much let her tell her story. I'm gonna do my announcements, my shout outs first, and then I'm gonna bring her up. Gots to do them shout outs, y'all. And if you guys have any questions, I was originally going to do it members only chat, but I decided not to do it members only chat because I still wanted you guys to be able to interact in the chat. But towards the end of the interview, if y'all have any questions, respectful questions, comments, y'all can send them via super chat and I'll read those at the end of the interview. But thank y'all for tuning in on this Sunday. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Robin Buttercup. We got Miss Queen B05 in the building. Wait, I said it. Michelle Holmes. We got Simone Whitaker, Raquel, Brenda Knighton, my super mod Tajay, my Black is Beautiful, Miss E. We got Amelia Too Cute in the building. We got, hold up, Kiana with the Q, Kathy Walker, Lakey, Dominica. We got Miss Beverly Harris. We got Miss Mia, and I see y'all coming through with all the super stickers. Thank y'all so much for the support. I will shout them out towards the end of the live. Hey, Raw Truth. The Also, my mods are putting all of the links in the chat because I see some asking for the membership link. It should already be in the chat, y'all. Hey, Batty Doe. Hey, Bridget. Hey, Tony Bailey. Erica Hayes. We got Steph's Puffin stuff. We got Reese. We got Gemini Rising. We got Bryn. We got Raw Troop coming through with the membership. We got Honeybee Marie, Miss Cheryl Daggs, my Louisiana sister, Black Widow, Nana Karen, Kimberly Merrills, Stephanie Howard, Yolanda White, Toya Tony. We got Rebecca Belton in the building, Dee. We got Dee. My bad, y'all. I'm talking too fast now. JP in the building. We got Lola, Grown Woman Status. We got Brittany Davis. We got Yelena White. Hold up, let me go down. We got Miss Lovely. We got Virgo Dope. We got Dina Robinson. We got Miss Gigi Edwards, Miss Margaret Mason, Miss Ilka. Let's see. Who else is in here? Black Widow, Zahira. We got Nene in the building, Tamika Woodard, Miss Angela Dickerson. I love you more, my girl. Let's see. Who else we got up in here? Honey Bun 7. Okay. Y'all bear with me because there's a lot of y'all in the chat. We got Down South in the building. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Okay. We got Lisa Savoy. We got Respectfully April Montez, Miss Ramona G in the building. We got, hold up, because a lot of y'all commented more than once. Let me see. Beyond Compare Creations. We got Jada, Tony Williams, All 5 of Me. We got Sanea. We got Becca Cry, K Monet, Robin Lots. We got Truth Slayer. We got Moi. We got Egyptian in the building. We got Toya Wilson in the building. Miss Red. Blessed Beyond Measures. Diane Grant. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Who else? Kat Onyx in the building. Rakita. Michelle Holmes. Y'all ain't got to worry about no bees because if they are in here, they've been subscribed to my channel, but the mods are on higher alert, baby. This ain't that. The Brantley's Lifestyle in the building. We got Mr. Roel or M. Roel. The reason why it's looking different with the time, y'all, is because it depends on which time zone you're in. See, where I'm at is 2:05 right now. So some may be in Eastern time, so it's a difference. That's why it looks different on y'all end. Miss Jackie Rogers is in the building. We got Audra, Cancer 66, Precious B, Capricorn Ma, Beautiful One. Who else we got? Let's see. I think that's it. Or maybe I ain't made it all the way down. Love me in the building. Peace be still. We got Miss Submissive. Okay. We got Lolo. Miss Shawnee. Talk Sweet to Scorpio Goddess Latte. We got Meet Us. Andrew's Perspective. Honey Williams. We got TT. Cindy Scott. Shajay. I think that Latoya 714 in the building. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Okay, let's see. The soul of a woman is in the building, baby. Sugar Pop, Scorpio Steens, Get Right with Elby, Miss Lolita. We got Jackie Moore, Carol Bell, Stephanie Landry. We got Natural Nurturer, Dreamy Girl, and Latoya. Tracy Ryder, Loveless Tay, A. Stokes, Sweetly Favored, Tony, Valencia, Coyote, Tamika Williams, KD, Miss Tracy Johnson. We got DJ, T Mo, it's Miss Parker, Treasure Life, Miss Cheryl Wagner, India, Annie, Keeping Up with the Latruths. Okay, look, my girl is in the building. If y'all not familiar, y'all just ain't gonna be familiar. But if you've been in the game, then you know who that is. Shout out to Keeping Up with the Latruths, baby. That's the OG in the game. Hey, Lena Cannon. Hey, Tonya Lewis. Okay, y'all, I ain't gonna name everybody because it's too many of y'all. We literally have 678 people in here. So if y'all in here, thank y'all for coming through and supporting. Please hit that like button if you do not mind. It's free to hit the like button. All of my support links are in the chat pinned at the top. I also have Chrissy's Cash App pinned at the top as well. My mods will be putting the support links throughout the chat if you need it. And just thank y'all for being here. But definitely hit that like button, y'all. It is free 99. Okay. And now, without further ado, I will bring up Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for coming and doing this interview. Like, I really appreciate you for reaching out to me, y'all. And this is one of the reasons why I always say, be mindful of how you run your platform because you never know who is watching. And before Christy even gets started, I just want to say that she is a very soft-spoken person. She don't do drama. She don't do none of that, y'all. Like, she's a good spirit. Like, she has a really good vibe, a beautiful person. So I really appreciate you reaching out to me and, wanting to tell your story, especially on my platform. So I'm honored. Like, I'm really honored.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I mean, a few of your stories have hit my timeline from some of my family members and stuff like that that follow the saga, sending them to me, and I have listened to them, and I'm like, okay, she seems like she's a pretty cool person. I was a little reluctant about even telling my story and all of those different things or whatever, just because I like my privacy, but I feel like if I don't mind sharing it with you.
Well, thank you so much again. Y'all can hear, let me know if y'all can hear her good because I'll get her to move her camera up some if y'all can't hear. Just let me know if the sound is good before we get started. I just want to
Can you
make
hear
sure
me?
it's no echo or nothing like that. Okay, I see some saying, please ask Chrissy to turn up her volume or move closer. Is it possible for you to maybe push it closer? That way they can hear you a little better?
Yeah, I can move it closer.
Okay.
Let me see. That probably would.
Yeah, they're saying it's too far away. And let me know if y'all hear echo, because I don't want it to be an echo. Y'all know how StreamYard is.
Is this better? Is this better?
It's good for me. Is it better, y'all? Let me know in the chat if it's better for y'all. If y'all can hear her good. Let me see. Okay, no echo. Good. StreamYard is doing a big one today. Because y'all know StreamYard be giving us some problems, baby. So shout out to StreamYard. So they saying it's better. Good. That's good. Shout out to all my mods that's in the building. I appreciate y'all for coming in and keeping the chat straight, baby. Okay. So this is my first interview, y'all. So y'all know I'm extra geeked, okay? But anyways, I'm gonna try not to be silly because I'm a very silly person.
I don't mind. I like the jokes sometimes too. So
Okay. So the first thing I have is I pretty much want to ask, how long were you and Johnell together? And well, you can start with that. How long were you guys together?
So Janelle and I were together for 2 years. We actually met at a Kanye concert. He came up to me at a Kanye concert and just full of life, jokes, having fun or whatever. Offered to buy me drinks. I was there with my cousin who had flew in from Miami, and we were just having a good time. He ended up inviting us to his section. I didn't end up going at that time or whatever, but I remember him asking me for my phone number. And as soon as I was about to put it in, my phone went dead. And I was just like, well, I think that's a sign. And I was like, that's a sign. Maybe we shouldn't talk. And he was like, no, that's not going to be the case. You give me your IG or whatever. And so he sent me a message on IG. And I think maybe a week later, I ended up like, hey, that guy was pretty cool. He was nice. He was funny. So I ended up responding to his message.
Okay. And I just want to put this disclaimer out there, you guys, because I don't want anyone to run with a certain narrative. This is not a bashing session. This is not to drag anyone. Chrissy is not that type of person. And y'all know, if y'all been following me, that's not how I run my platform. I only speak on the truth based off of receipts. That's it. That's all. So I definitely wanted to put that disclaimer out there because I don't want people to think that, Chrissy is bitter or she's trying to, just drag or bash any party, because that's not the case. She is simply here to tell her story and what transpired and, kind of give us some insight on her healing journey as far as that relationship is concerned. Yes. So that's my disclaimer, and yours as well. Yeah. So when did you first find out that he knew of Bree or that they had some type of interaction?
I'll say that was further along in my relationship that I ended up finding out about. I had a suspicion that he was, that it was somebody. I can't say that I thought it was Bree right away or anything like that. I had a suspicion that it was somebody, and that was because he had blocked me off of his story just randomly one day. And I have friends of, everybody has friends that follow your spouses and all of those kind of stuff or whatever. And they shot me some screenshots saying who is this or whatever, or showing me that he would block me off his screen. It never really kind of dawned on me to I remember taking a picture of what he had posted or whatever. I've lost my phone since then or whatever, so I couldn't find that picture. But it just kind of just triggered me to say, okay, he's talking to somebody or he wants to hide something, because I had never experienced that behavior from him before, or never caught that behavior from him before. So I would say that was the first incident. That was in, I think, September. That was around September 2022, which was we were dating and all of those different things. So it was around that time where I just had suspicion that it was somebody.
Okay. Okay. So can you walk us through you and Johnell's relationship and the things that transpired? Just kind of give us a breakdown of, the 2-year relationship and how everything went.
Yeah. It like all I can say is that me and Johnell's relationship was good until it wasn't. But we had some really good times. We traveled together. We introduced each other to each other's family members. We were really involved in each other's lives. I think one of our first trips was to New York, and it was actually that's when I met his parents. That was our first trip. I had met his parents or whatever. It was during the summertime. We had went up for a art event, and then I ended up meeting him. I ended up meeting his father and his mother, as well as his grandmother. That trip. Oh, they were pretty nice for the most part or whatever. Other than that, like he really kind of like talked with my folks like over the phone and stuff like that because we hadn't had anybody visit or whatever. He met my god sister, which is she's really close to me, and my cousin Laverne, and my aunt Ruthie. So those are some of the people that he met in my family. After that trip, me and his mom kind of slightly discussed going on an international trip to South Africa, which later transpired. In between that time, we was just enjoying each other. We would always do date night. He would always kind of like insinuate date night by saying date night baby, all of that kind of stuff or whatever. Like he would always be wanting to go do something or whatever. So I would do some dates, and he would do some dates, and we would go from there. I always like to keep it interesting, going to other concerts and all of those different type of things. The second trip that we ended up taking, it was a birthday trip that I ended up surprising him with for his birthday. We had a good time there as well. Like we really enjoyed each other's company or whatever. He was funny, lighthearted, seemed pretty caring about some of the things that were going on with me, as well as was very sharing about some of the things that was going on with him. After that birthday trip, I think we had one more trip. We had my birthday trip that ended up happening in October, where he took me to the cabins, surprised me with the cabins for my birthday, as well as other times in between then or whatever. He would treat me and my aunts and out to like dinner and all of those different things. I thought that okay, Lord, this could be my person, maybe. I don't know. I had my suspicions, but when it was good, like I said. Um, and then came the Africa trip where I started kind of like questioning if we were a good fit. So all of that happened between like on the 2 year journey, I guess.
Okay, can you kind of walk us through? I see where at what point during the relationship did you start having like your suspicions or, maybe question if he was actually your person?
Um, So I had my suspicion of him when he blocked me off his story. That kind of like rubbed me the wrong way because I was just like, if we're going towards where we've been talking, like you know, possibly marriage, just different things like that or whatever. Why are you blocking me off your story? But we all know like when you're in relationships and stuff like that, men are men. So like not to give them a pass or anything like that, that kind of like raised the eyebrow for me to just kind of like look out for some things. After that, it was just more of, I would say, the family trip to South Africa started raising kind of questions to me or whatever, because when he's around me, when others are around their person or around their partner, they're one way. When they're around their family, sometimes they can be another way or whatever. Or you can kind of get insight when they're around other people on like just their intangibles. And so it was really that for me. I kind of saw some things that were kind of like alarming to me or whatever. Just interactions, just conversations. I can't really pinpoint one or the other on that, but I just know his behavior started changing during that time.
Okay, so is there like a specific isolated incident that kind of said, "Hey, no, I can't do this," or anything that you would like to share?
Yes, it was a time when we on that trip or whatever, which was a trip that like we shared expenses on, different things like that, things that I would think that you would do in a relationship. It was a time or whatever like where I had asked him to purchase me a dress on the trip, and I think I caught him off guard. I didn't ask him in the beginning or anything like that, but I didn't think that it was an issue because anything that I normally asked for previous to that or whatever, he wouldn't really trip about it. And we were in the store. It was like I would say equivalent to it was a really inexpensive dress or whatever that I had wanted to wear to a wedding that I was going to be like actually going to when we were in South Africa, and I asked him to purchase the dress, and he kind of got like really upset about it or whatever, and he was just like, "Did you ask me to purchase the dress and all these different things or whatever?" And he blew up on me in the mall, and I was just like, I remember like being a little taken aback from that. I was very emotional, and I had started to cry. And he turned back to me, and he was like, tears don't work on me. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm real animated, but he was like, tears don't work on me or whatever. You better clear that up. And I was just like, what? I was like, these are my feelings. This is what I'm feeling right now. So if like you're just like you're mad, I could be sad or whatever. And he was just still mad or whatever. He was like, you don't want to go there with me or whatever. And at that time I was just like, look, and you don't want to go there with me. I ended up switching it just in that moment or whatever. Like I told him that he was reminding me of a person in my past that, which was my stepfather, how he used to treat my mom, and I was just like, that's not going to work for me. And I remember him saying, well, if I remind you of him, why are you with me? And I just told him, if you keep acting like that, I'm not going to be with you. So that was like one of the like main moments where like I wasn't feeling the situation at all. I remember taking a walk, just kind of go talk to my like comfort people or whatever during that time when we had got back to the house. And I just kind of left the house with him and left him with him and his mom. And I went and took a walk and just was kind of sorting some things out. And I remember when I came back, and he was just kind of like more back in his jolly mode, and he asked me, was I okay and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know. I'm still a little angry or whatever. So I don't know if this is the time to approach me, but it wasn't the time for us to argue at the time either, because we were in front of his mom and all of those different things or whatever. And I don't do that. Our business is our business.
So basically, that was a pretty much you know who to play with type situation. He knew he couldn't play with you like that. So
Oh
it
no.
kind of you let him know off top, like, hey, this ain't that, baby. This
I
ain't that.
remember, and this is not always my character, but everybody got a pass. I remember saying, "Boy, I'll jump on you like a flying monkey. I am not the one." So let's not go there, because we gonna really go there in front of these people in the mall. And I just didn't like that version of me coming out, because I've never had something like that happen where I felt like that. I felt like that I had to like even use words like that, and I didn't want to bring that out of him either. So like that was never our stature. I didn't know what was bringing this about.
So basically, that was pretty much you would say the biggest isolated incident that y'all had that kind of was a red flag for you that, hey, maybe this might not work.
Yeah.
Okay. And I hate to go back, but for clarity purposes, because I do see that the truth is in the chat, and he said, did she say September 22nd? So just to kind of clarify, like around that time frame, what was there a picture or anything that you witnessed or seen that pretty much let you know that there was some type of interaction between, not saying sexually or like as far as trying to prove it, but something that led to maybe they were having some type of conversation around that time?
So September 22nd, to be clear.
Not 22nd, September 2022, my
Well,
bad.
September 22. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what I meant. September
Wait, the sound went out. The sound went out. Can you hear us, y'all? Can y'all hear us? Let me see. Hold up.
I'm sorry, that was a call coming through. I gotta let my
Okay, okay. I thought I was like, oh Lord, not StreamYard tripping at the
No,
wrong
that was a
time.
call coming through. I had to tell her, let me call her back because if I
Okay.
don't, she'll keep calling and calling. Hold on.
Bear with us, y'all.
Uh,
Hold on, y'all. We gonna get it together. Y'all know how it go when y'all trying to do StreamYard and then a call start coming through. Oh, it's not? Let me hold on. This is a commercial break. Y'all bear with us.
I'm sorry, guys. I got to text my sister back. She had the police looking for me, especially after some stuff. So she'll be like, code red alert. Okay. Can you hear me now? Better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I did not tell her I was on here because she would have been like, no.
Okay. So what did I say? Okay, so just some clarity on the whole September of 2022. Like what led you to believe that it was some type of interaction between Johnell and Bree at that time? That specific time, was it a picture or you seen something that, what made you believe that it was her?
So I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't follow the saga. Didn't know, of course, Brianna. Didn't know Robert at the time. The specific incident that happened was that he blocked me off his story. My cousin sent me a picture or whatever, like all the pictures that he had blocked me off the story, and her picture was one of the pictures. So what I did was at that time, like I said, I don't have that phone anymore. I screenshotted that or whatever, and how we do or whatever. Like when you guys say receipts or whatever, I just put it to the side and I was just like, just note it, because why is he blocking me off of his story or whatever? Because at the time he was like, I think he said he was at a premiere or doing promotion or whatever, and I just was just like, you never blocked me off the story before, so it just kind of, I'm a woman, I'm going to I'm going to investigate a little bit. So I just kind of put that to the side and just went on about it. Like I said, after that, we had came back. We ended up going on my birthday trip, all of that kind of stuff. It was good, but I just knew that something had happened, and it was her picture. So I didn't know who it was at the time. I just knew it was somebody.
And you know what? At that time, it's unfortunate, but the saga wasn't going on at that time. So it wouldn't have raised any suspicion because at that period, she was still with her husband.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you didn't have any suspicion or anything like that, you know.
I didn't have any suspicion because I didn't know about them or anything like that. The first time that I like knew her name and all of those different things, knew the name or knew their names was when she put the billboard up. After that, I found like that came up or whatever, and my pictures came up, and my aunt that I told you that knew Johnell or whatever and all of that. She came to me, like her and like a couple of my cousins and stuff that had sent me the stuff prior to before that morning. I had plenty of conversations. When your 80 plus year old aunt call you and summons you and say, hey, what's going on? Because isn't this that guy that you're dating? Like, I was just like, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God. Like, so at that time.
That is embarrassing. You know what
Oh,
I'm
very.
saying? I wouldn't wish that on nobody because at the end of the day, you guys were in a relationship. Nobody wants to see that, especially publicly. And then from coming from an influencer. You know what I'm saying? Like that really is embarrassing. But even before we get to the whole billboard situation, I want to kind of go back into you and his situation as far as you're, you know what, before I even jump to that, tell me about the relationship with your relationship with his mom and the role she played within you guys relationship.
Um, when I first met his mom was very sweet. Like, she was nice. I could tell that she was interested in like getting to know me a little bit or whatever because we met, like I said, on our first trip. We ended up meeting. I ended up meeting his mom, his grandmother, and his father. She was just very very inquisitive, asked a lot of questions, as she should have, because I was dating her son and all that kind of stuff. He was bringing me home. I don't take that lightly or whatever. And yeah, I could just tell she just was trying to kind of figure me out when I first met her. Now, when we spent a little bit more time together, I could tell that she was just like, okay, this girl is coming around a lot more or whatever. And I could tell that she wasn't used to him, like in a long-term relationship or in a relationship with somebody that she probably thought that I was just kind of like passing through and I kept showing up. I don't know. I don't think she was ready for her son to get in a relationship.
So it's maybe so. I ain't gonna
I don't
no
know.
no comment. Okay, no comment.
Right. I don't know.
So okay, so kind of tell us about, well, I know you kind of gave some details, you didn't talk about this part, but kind of tell us about your unexpected pregnancy and how did it affect you at the time and how did he respond to it.
So I found out that I was pregnant shortly after my birthday and before we went and before we went to um, to New York for Thanksgiving or to Jersey for Thanksgiving. Um, and for me personally, during that time or whatever, I wanted to keep it quiet. And why I wanted to keep it quiet is because, like I said, we have been talking about like marriage. We have been talking about long-term relationship together. And like, I knew that from our conversations that we were moving closer towards that. But my family is very strict on, marriage before children. I also knew that we had a trip coming up to Africa where I was going to be with his mom for, an extensive part of the time. It was like a month. It was like 17 days. So I didn't want that to be the topic of conversation when we were out of town. But we both knew that I was pregnant. And we were just kind of going through the motions with that. We set up the doctor's appointment before we left for Africa. All of those different things. We were happy. I felt like it was a happy moment. Was it how I wanted it to be? No, but Was it something that like I was happy and looking forward to? Yes. And at that time, he seemed like he was happy and looking forward to it as well. It just kind of changed after we came back from South Africa.
And what was the time frame? Like, do you remember the month, the year, for the pregnancy or whatever?
So I found out that I was pregnant through a home test. It was it was like it was the end of October. Of course, I know that it was the end of October, going into November. Yes. So when I in January,
That was
February,
2022.
huh?
That was 2022 or 23.
Yes, 2022. That's when I found
Okay.
out.
Okay.
When I miscarried, it was February 2023, and that was towards the end of our relationship. So.
Okay, so your miscarriage happened February of 2023.
Yes.
And around that time, okay, with the whole process and you been in the hospital, was he involved in that process, or who was actually there with you for that time? Because that's a
So
traumatic experience.
we were visiting New York at the time. We were visiting New York, and I was having some issues, but we was kind of having like our own relationship issues prior to then or whatever. So like it was just a lot on me. It was a lot of stress, and then like just due to like some of my levels, stuff like that, I was high risk, and I started to hemorrhage. So of course we went to the doctor or whatever, and they just kind of made the decision for me that I was going to have to terminate the pregnancy because my hemoglobin levels, if anybody knows about that or whatever, were very, very low, and they tried to do what they needed to do to raise them. But when I started hemorrhaging, or that what that is bleeding or whatever, they just kind of told me that it was for my safety that it was going to have to end the pregnancy. So during that time, he was there for a portion of the time, but he said he had to go back for work because they ended up making me stay there for a while when they were trying to get my levels up. But and then he was out of town when I found out that I was actually going to have to like go through with terminating the pregnancy because of my health issues. And he wasn't there. We wasn't really talking too much. I didn't know what that was about or whatever. We were talking like periodically, but not as frequently as we would normally talk. And but his mom was there. She was there the whole step of the way or whatever. I think she was trying to just make sure I wasn't alive, but it is what it is. She was there beside me the whole time or whatever, and all of that kind of stuff up until when I went back home.
Oh, wow. And it's okay. I'm flabbergasted because I'm really thinking about the dates and the time frames of all of this. Because and I actually had put together a collage of receipts, y'all, to kind of show, but I didn't have time to actually upload it and all of that. So what I'll do is I'll work on a video of the receipts to kind of show you guys when it started. I could kind of refresh you guys' memory based on if you were here early on in the saga, then they had that whole we co-stars whatever, and it was times in live streams where she would ask about his girlfriend. If y'all remember, this is the girlfriend that was mentioned in some of the lives. When he asked her, it was a live that was done on Instagram where he was, asking her, will you be my Valentine and stuff like that. And she was like, well, where's your girlfriend? And he kind of changed the subject. This was the girlfriend, so it was they were definitely in a relationship whenever Bree and Johnell made their, interaction or whatever they had going on early on with the whole billboard situation. Now we can kind of get into the billboard situation because that's when you really found out that, it was what it was. But can you kind of tell my audience what he was telling you, like the excuses that he was making to you and family members or whatever, once you guys started seeing these things being put up publicly?
So I ended up, so when after that, I came back to Atlanta or whatever, and I came back to Atlanta, and that evening was when I saw the billboard, and I was dealing with a lot of stuff then or whatever. Someone, I don't know who, but somebody stole my car or whatever. When I got back, my car wasn't at my apartment, which was very odd to me, being that like I live in a gated community, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm dealing with that. I'm getting police involved. I wasn't getting any like response from him. I called his mother or whatever. It wasn't really getting too much from her or whatever, but like she was just like, she alluded to the point of me, like, she was like, what are you saying? Like, Johnell stole your car? And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. She was just, because you're mad at him. Is that why you're saying this or whatever? And I'm like, no, ma'am. Like, my car wasn't there when I got home. So, like, I was just going through all of this stuff. I'm just trying to see if he saw it because he was parked next to me when we left. I know he came home before I did. So, that was going on or whatever. And one of my really close friends, my best friend, she really didn't know how to like tell me because I was trying to like, I wanted my relationship to work or whatever. So she was trying to figure out how she was going to tell me basically that something was going on. So when she was just like, I got a suspicion, maybe he took your car or something like that. I don't know, but like, let's check his page. And so when we checked the page or whatever, I saw the post with the billboard, which I'm sure my friend seen that before I seen it, but she really wanted me to see it, and she didn't know like how to tell me or whatever the case may be. And I remember at that time, like my heart dropping and being like, "You shouldn't have showed me that right now, or whatever." But like that's when I ended up finding out specifically that it was another person and this was going on and all of this kind of stuff. So of course, being me or whatever, I'm calling him on the phone, like, don't call me no more, yelling at him, all of this kind of stuff or whatever, saying a few choice words. And he was just like, he tried to call me, but I had blocked him. He called my cousin, and he was just like, she asked him, what was this? Like, I don't know if he called her or she sent she sent it to him or something like that when it happened or whatever. I think she said she sent it to him when it happened, and he was just like, "Oh, come on, like that's not real, that's not true or whatever. Like this just publicity." And I'm like, when he said that to me, he also said that to me later on that evening or whatever, and I'm all like, "F publicity. I don't care nothing about no publicity. I'm a real person, okay?" So when you telling me that this publicity and all of this kind of stuff or whatever, are you just doing this or whatever? I don't believe none of that. All of that is BS until further notice or whatever. And so like it just kind of, that was like really towards the end of our situation. We kept talking in between that or whatever, but like he kept telling me like, oh, it's just for show, it's just something to kind of like boost me up and all of this kind of stuff, go towards my career. And I was just like, no, like if that's what you got to do, if you got to lie or if you got to act like that you with somebody else, you can't be with me. So
Wow, that is crazy. So when she put up the billboard, I don't know if y'all remember, but that's the billboard she put up around it was February 10th, 2023, 4 days before Valentine's Day, where she did a video saying, I set the bar, or this is how you set the bar, her telling Janelle happy Valentine's Day. Okay, and based on your date from your miscarriage, which was also February 2023, how close, if you can remember, how close was that together? Because
it's
y'all
very so you saying
imagine.
that I remember that like the back of my hand, like you don't forget things like that or whatever. You like I came home February 12th. So you saying that it's a little surprising to me because I just thought that the first day I saw the video was the day of the video or whatever, but I seen the video February 12th or probably like around 12 a.m. February 13th. And but yeah, so it was around that time or whatever. Like I don't know when the video happened or whatever, but like I came home the day I think like a day and a half after I had. So most likely had my miscarriage is February 10th. I mean, I could check the paperwork, but I mean, I don't know.
It's crazy because if you had your miscarriage February 10th, that was the day that she put the billboard up.
Yeah.
February 10th, which is crazy. And another little thing that I'm gonna add to this, you guys, like I said, I'm gonna do a receipt video and release it later. But if you all remember, it, if y'all remember, Bree she had a tattoo on her arm. It said young. She had, and okay, she did a live stream February 4th of 2023. The tattoo wasn't there. February 10th, she did another live stream, and the exact live stream was when she was going off about the having CPS called on Toya. If y'all remember, she had a ponytail, and you could see that it was a freshly done tattoo. That was February 10th that on that live stream. So it's just crazy because it's like if you and him broke up in February, how is it a tattoo of his last name in February? That is crazy. So it had to have dated back, their involvement had to have dated back well into 2022. That's what it's given, because nobody moves that fast. Within a month of knowing somebody, you mean to tell me you got a tattoo of his last name? It don't add up, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll definitely put that receipt video together later.
I don't know nothing about that. All I can do is tell my portion.
Yep. See, you haven't been really involved, y'all. And like I said, this video is not to bash, drag, or do anything of the sort. This is just her telling her story. They're involved because this is her story, and she was in a relationship with him. Nobody deserves to be done like this, period, no matter who you are. And she had to heal from this situation. So can you, because a lot of people are asking, let's talk about the arrest. And before we even get into the arrest, I just got some, hold on, give me a second.
Pour some more water, y'all.
Yes, because listen, this is crazy. So I just got some information that allegedly, since we're getting into the arrest, Bree was the one who called the police on you that day.
I can believe it. I don't know who did.
Yeah, that I just got a message. That's why I'm saying allegedly it was her. Mm-hmm. And so let's kind of get into what transpired, because it was a lot of bragging about, you being arrested and this and that. Just kind of give them the breakdown of what happened that day.
Oh my God. This is the Scarlet Letter. No, I'm just joking. No, so I had worked all day that day. I mean, of course, you guys know all the other things that I have been going through previously, within the last couple of weeks in between that time, because it happened. I'll say it was the first week in March, I think. First week in March, sometime in March or something like that or whatever. But I have been going through a lot. I was at work. I had a client at that time. I was still doing hair at Fix Plaza. I had a client that came in. They wanted some, one of this particular hairstyle. They wanted some links, and all my tools was at his house. So many things was at his house, because I would, go from my house to his house to work to all of those different things or whatever, and things that I never was able to get. So I'm getting off of work late. I'm mad. I'm in my feelings. All of these different type of things or whatever. So I'm I'm gonna get my stuff. And it's never been a problem for me to show up at his house or anything like that prior to that, even though I know we were into it, but I didn't think it was that. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't be tripping off of no other girl. I'm tripping off of what's going on with this. So I drive there, which is pretty far from the city. I drive to his home, and I'm knocking on the door or whatever. The lights is on, all of this kind of stuff or whatever. And so when he wasn't answering, so I was just I know he probably in the back on the game. So I go to the back door or whatever, and I look through the back door, and I'm I see somebody. I know it's more than one person in the house or whatever, and I'm open this door, like, like, please, like, open the door or whatever. Then, so I ended up at that time, Lord, I wish I would have just listened to you. I ended up leaving, like, just kind of like busting a block, and was like, no, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. He gonna give me my stuff. I don't care who in that house or whatever. I need my stuff. So I said I was gonna be annoying and like ring the doorbell until he was gonna answer. So I'm ringing the doorbell, and different things like that or whatever, at the front door. And shortly after, here comes the police, and I'm turning around. I'm like, oh shit, excuse my language. Oh my God, like the police is here now. So the police comes up, and so I turn around to the police, and I'm like, is there a problem, officer? And he's just like, I don't know, you tell me or whatever. I was like, this is my boyfriend's house. I came to get my stuff, and he's not answering the door or whatever. And the police asked me, well, why didn't you call me first? And I was like, I didn't think it was a situation where I needed to call the police to get my things or whatever, because we never had really been like into a bad altercation or anything like that. And the police was like, okay, well, he tried to call or whatever. He didn't let me know that it was somebody in the house that had called them or whatever and stuff like that. But of course, when the police is called, they run your name, and in their rural county or whatever, it was pulling up that my license was suspended, which it wasn't. We found out. Well, I told them that it shouldn't have been, but it was no way for us to validate that at that time, and it was like around like 9:30 or whatever. So I had to wait to the next morning to see the judge. So I spent 17 hours in jail. Yes, I did, or whatever. Later on, for it to just be thrown out, because they were able to prove that my license wasn't suspended or whatever. And the judge was just like, you have suffered enough. Like, why? Like, just don't go back. And I was like, I agree, And that was like really the last like interaction where I wasn't trying to like breathe his name at the time or whatever, or anything like that or whatever for that happening. But yeah, I got there. That was my lesson from God. Like, leave it alone. You asked me to get you out of it, and I got you out of it, and you're trying to go back. So that's how I felt about that.
So basically, y'all, just to kind of clear that narrative, because it was put out that, a narrative was put out to make it seem as though Chrissy showed up on some crazy ish, and she, Johnell got her arrested. The only reason why she got arrested that day is because something was up with her license. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
Did he even come out when the police got there?
No, he had his mother call me, because he had his mother call me or whatever. So when I was on my way to the precinct or whatever, she ended up calling or whatever, like, oh, what happened? Someone at the house, some of the neighbors told me that. And I was just like, ma'am, I mean, y'all know her name. I'm not going to say it or whatever, but I'm like, ma'am, that is not the case. I know your son called the police on me. At the time, that's what I felt like or whatever. I was like, he ain't got to worry about me no more or whatever. Like, I'm not that one or whatever. And like, how dare you do that? Knowing like my profession and all of those different type of things or whatever. How dare you try to like, get me in trouble or something like that or whatever. Like, I'm not dealing with that. When you start messing with my money, I got a problem. So that was pretty much it or whatever. And she was able to get in contact with some of my family members, which got me out. They got me out pretty fast. So.
Okay, well, that was just to clear that narrative, baby, because it was definitely, being spun to make it seem more than what it was, and that's crazy. It's this whole situation is unfortunate. I wouldn't wish this on nobody. So, do you have anything else that you would like to add as far as that situation is concerned?
As far as me going to jail.
No, the whole relationship situation or anything like that. You want to talk about your healing or.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, so, I'll first say, like, even though I went through my things with Johnell or whatever, everybody's experience is different. for me or whatever, did I see some red flags? Yes, and that was my time to exit. But like, he didn't drink when he was with me. He didn't like, most of the time, like, I had got him to start drinking mocktails. I might have only seen him drink in our relationship once. He was very attentive, all of those different things or whatever. Like I said, until he wasn't, I could tell that it was something else going on, or he had met somebody else or whatever, without knowing who it was. Um, just have, women's intuition or whatever and stuff like that. But we know how we like to hold on to our relationships. So I'll say that or whatever. One thing about, like, for my healing, after that incident, when it happened, when I got out of jail that morning, it had gave me so much anxiety to the point where that's when I decided to start my journey with counseling and all of those different things or whatever. I had something something like actually scheduled before then or whatever, but I had bumped it up. I was like, I need to see you tomorrow or whatever, and that really helped me with my relationship, as well, with like the ending of my relationship, as well as like past trauma, all of those different things. I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I'm also a huge advocate for people taking care of their mental health. Mental health is a huge thing for me or whatever. I have a nonprofit called Peace of Mind Organization that deals with different things like this, and also deals with like domestic. I know you guys say DV and all of those different things or whatever. We help women to deal with things like this or whatever, because I know that this is something that I see that's entertaining to a lot of people to follow this story, but it's so many people, and it's very dear to my heart or whatever, because for something that just happened that I'll share with you guys. But it's, some people don't get to come back from stuff like this, so it's not something to be played with. I just lost a family member. I think some of you might even know that story that just happened in Memphis, Tennessee, where the three girls were unalived by the baby father, and all of those different things or whatever. So it's super dear to my heart to be able to help people like this. So anybody that's dealing with that or anything like that, if you need resources, please reach out. Lupac, I'll give you the information for it or whatever. But like, don't take your relationships lightly. When you get that feeling to be ready to go, you don't need a reason. Just go. And it's not saying that that person is a bad person or you're a bad person or anything like that or whatever. It's just, it's the expiration date. If they're not the one, it'll be a departing factor. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you actually like take back your life, take back your happy, whether if you're a male or a female or whatever, the sooner you can live the life that God had wants you to live, which is happiness, abundance, peace that surpasses all understanding. That's all.
That was a great message. That, and I, kind of go into more. I heard you say that you have, and make sure you send that to me. Your business as far as advocating for DV victims, and with the whole mental health. Just if you can elaborate a little more on that in particular.
So Peace of Mind Organization is an organization that I started to help families and individuals that deal with mental health issues, as well as deal with it. So we are, not to say as well as, but so what we do is we provide resources as like counseling. We help you find counselors. We help you with certain situations or whatever that you might be dealing with within a situation when it comes to your mental health. All of that plays a part. Like I said, relationships. One of the reasons why I decided to start Peace of Mind with my partners is because personally, my mother dealt with this a because of a previous marriage that she had or whatever, and a bad relationship that she was in, And I saw how it really took a toll on her life, her mental health, and all of those different things or whatever. So I started this organization in paying honor to her. She's still with us. Love my mama. Hey, mama. I don't think you're gonna see this. I hope you don't see this, but but like so we that's one of the reasons why we started it. We've been able to help so many different people, been able to help them with things to deal with anxiety, depression, also thoughts of suicide, all of those different things. We've been able to help them get resources that help in those areas to help them with the quality of life that they have. So yes.
That's I love that. I love that. Like anytime somebody can actually advocate for real DV victims and actually give them just the help, because a lot of times most victims feel like they don't have nobody.
Yeah.
They don't even want to talk to family members
Yeah.
because they don't want to be judged, or even as going as far as protecting their bruisers. That's how I see it on here. But that I just love that whole idea of helping those women, like, because
Yeah.
you don't see it too often. A lot of people say they gonna do it, but they don't. So it's refreshing. It's really refreshing. But let me see.
I say for me, like I said, I never have dealt with that firsthand per se. Like I've never dealt with that or whatever. But my mom dealing with that, it, how they always say fight or flight. I'm a fighter. I'm not running from nothing. So I never really had to deal with that or whatever. Not to say that I fought somebody or something like that. They just knew that they couldn't take it there with me like that. But this is my way of fighting back in a positive way.
Okay. So, to kind of go back a little bit, because I don't know if you aware, I know you had that one isolated incident with Johnell, which, it wasn't physical or whatever. It was just kind of like a red flag. But have you seen the recent things that has come out in the media as far as the Bruce with him and Bree? Have you seen those things?
I haven't seen like, I guess the incident, or don't know too much about the incident. Whenever the incident happened, someone DM me or whatever and asked me about it or whatever, and asked it, had he ever like put harm to me or anything like that or whatever, and I told them no. And during that time, I contacted his mom, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on, really don't care to know what's going on or whatever, but they saying your son put hands on the new girl that he was talking to or whatever. He never put hands on me. I don't know, but that ain't no good look. That's all. That's all I said. Yeah.
So what did it kind of like, I don't want to say trigger you, but did it kind of make you have like did you feel a way, like, as far as that whole situation? You know what I'm saying? Because it's pretty much you dodged a bullet, right?
Ooh, I felt
So
good. I felt
listen,
good. I'm not gonna pretend like, when I say felt good about somebody, something happening to him or whatever, or happening to her. Did not feel good about that or whatever. But like, just with some of these things or whatever, people, like slide in my DMs, try to talk to me about it. Like I said, I have family members that actually be following the story now or whatever. They want to know what happened. Like I said, my aunt, she follows the story, and she like give me her little update. She visits me quite frequently or whatever, and from St. Louis, Missouri, and they tell me little bits about it, and I ain't gonna lie, my auntie said, "Oh, he's so ghetto. He's so ghetto. I'm so glad that you just left him alone." I was just like, is that nice? But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm very happy. I know God. I know that there is a God. I know He loves me. I know that I'm attentive and I listen to Him. And it was time for me to go. Like it don't have to be something that big for you to know, to have that feeling, to know it was time to go. And I'm just so grateful that I listened to that voice inside of me or whatever, and actually did the work to go. Did I want to give up my relationship? No. I didn't at the time or whatever. Like something that you work hard for or whatever, you don't want to give up or whatever. But I know God has never led me astray any other time, and I'm so happy that I listened. I'm so happy. I could not be as grateful. I'm just so grateful. I hate the fact that something is happening to another woman or he's going through these different things. I wish nothing but wellness for everybody or whatever. But like, I'm just glad it ain't me. That's all I got to say.
And to add to that, okay, based on your advocacy and you pretty much speaking up for other for actual DV victims and stuff like that, outside of the fact that she definitely played a role in you and Johnell's breaking up, what advice would you give her based on what has come out on the media as far as you being an actual advocate and helping women who are in those situations?
So for someone, from what I know about the situation or whatever, that she said she experienced abuse before. Those different things, usually from other women that I have seen go through different things like that, it's because of trauma. It's because of childhood trauma, different things that have happened in your past that we decide it's okay for somebody to treat us a certain way, or we decide to be like very loving and caring past what we're supposed to do for people. It's okay to let something go. It's okay to start over. It's okay to check on your mental health for having kids or whatever, because it's going to affect them. And I don't know if people are telling you this or whatever. Like even it's okay to like talk to somebody and get help or whatever. Being on a platform like this, and I'll say that to Johnell. I'll say that to Robert Hampton. I'll say that to Brianna or whatever. It's okay to talk to somebody outside of this as well or whatever, because so many people go through mental health things just from even being on platforms like this. Like, and you end up hearing their stories later or whatever. Check on your mind. That's the only mind that you get or whatever. Make sure it's right. Make sure you're doing what you need to do for yourself, but also for her being a woman, make sure you're doing what you need to do for yourself, because you're not responsible just for yourself. You're responsible for them kids. And having kids or whatever and stuff like that, mama got to show up every day. Daddy don't. It is what it is. We know that. So check on your mental health. Talk to somebody for real.
I agree. And that was great advice, y'all. And I wanted her to give Bree that advice just to basically let her know that this is not a bashing session. This is not Chrissy trying to drag anybody. This is strictly her story. You can't take that away from her, because she experienced it. She was with Johnell for 2 years, and regardless of how it might paint the situation, it is still her story, period. So I really don't care how nobody feels about it. This is her story. You can't take that away from her. Everybody has a story to tell, or something that happened in their lifetime that affected them mentally, because she said she's never dealt with anything like this before. So anytime you have to heal from a situation, or it could possibly affect you moving forward in a new relationship, like, that's major. She went through a traumatic experience as far as the pregnancy, and just overall, based on even comparing it to other relationships that you had and the whole dating experience. Was this the first situation that you ever dealt with this to this magnitude? And I think that's probably why you had, I ain't gonna say issues later, but it was kind of traumatic for you even having to heal from it. Did you ever have to heal from another relationship like this, or that's what made it new for you because of what you experienced?
I done dealt with, everybody done dealt with something, but I ain't never dealt with nothing like this. This is from what I experienced. Like I said, what I'll take positive out of it or whatever was me getting with my therapist, was with me dealing, like I said, with past trauma from like some of the things that I dealt with growing up. have a loving family, love my family for being there, all those different things. So don't love my mom. My father is amazing in my life, all of those different things. But some things that happen by not being protected how you feel like that you should be protected growing up and different things like that or whatever. That's always made me very cautious about the relationships that I involve myself in. I don't have those issues with my exes and people that I have involved myself in. Most of the time, the reasons why we ended it because we were just going different ways in our life. I was moving, or I was in school, or I was just different things like that or whatever. I never had an experience where some of the things that came out of this relationship transpired. No.
Wow. Okay, so that's all the questions that I have, but I have a few super chat questions if you don't mind answering them. I don't think it's nothing too crazy. You can answer what you want to answer at the end of the day. So let me just see what they have in here.
Okay.
Let's go down. And thank you to everyone who sent a super chat. I really appreciate you guys' support. Let's see. Let's go down. I don't know if I see. Let's see. So somebody say Chrissy is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Replay. I don't want to miss anything. One woman's trash is another woman's trash. Nope, no questions so far. So, but you have anything else that you want to add to the situation? Like as far as what you see now, or anything you want to say?
I'm blessed. I don't know. I don't know what to say or whatever. I wanted to share my story with you guys. Like I said, I like how Lupac kind of like how she carries herself from what I've seen or whatever, and I felt like this would be a great platform. But I want to share my story with you guys or whatever, in hopes to probably help somebody else, in hopes to like I just wanted to share it. I didn't want it ever to be somebody else telling my story or anything like that or whatever. I wanted it to be me, but I wanted to do it in a healed space to be able to give, to be able to speak properly and to speak my truth in true words and how I feel and during those times, because it was a hard time for me. But I'm glad I'm over that. I'm glad I'm healed. I can finally say that I'm healed, and this is kind of like closure.
This is, and I'm so glad this is giving you the closure, from that situation, because 2-year relationship ain't no little small nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's major, giving somebody 2 years of your life when you could have did it with anybody pretty much, so that was major. I see somebody ask, has he ever tried to reach out to you? Do you want to tell any trolling stories? Listen.
Well, I mean, we on here, we into the thick of it or whatever. Like in the beginning, I could tell it was some trolling going on. I could tell it was some fake pages and stuff like that. I would just kind of like throw little stuff out there just to let you know, like, because if you would look at my social media from the time that this happened to the time that it didn't happen, I was so adamant of like not like not showing any pain, not showing any hurt, and that was part of my journey or whatever. Like you don't let people see you sweat. Like that's how I was raised. But it taught me to be a little bit more vulnerable and all of those different things or whatever. But yeah, it was some trolling going on. It was some things that happened or whatever. Even like in the beginning, like it was just like little small things or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, you poking fun, fun or whatever. I just leave that on the other side. I leave that, I've grown from that. So, yeah.
So that basically lets y'all know that it was definitely some trolling going on early on.
I troll back too a little bit. I don't know why. You can go check some of my social media and stuff like that. I troll back.
Hey, rightfully so. Anybody would, especially if a situation ends like that, it's gonna be some trolling. Okay, it's gonna be some. Oh, I'm trying to make you jealous. You trying to make me jealous. That's normal. That that is definitely normal. Somebody said, has his mom try to reach out to you since then, or what I did see somebody ask, what did his mom say when those Bruce allegations came out or whatever? I don't know if you said you reached out to her or she
I
reached
did.
out to you. What was
I
her response?
I reached out to her. She didn't respond. I think with her, her main concern is to protect her family. One time she told me before, like I said anything or whatever, she was just like, "Oh, we got to protect the family, and we got to protect, like, like this is big on Janelle's reputation." She said this one time prior to all of this stuff happening or whatever, and I was just like, "That's not that. It's not my goal to like make his life miserable. You just ain't in my life no more or whatever." So she reached out a few times or whatever to check on me, um, and I think it was more of trying to see if I was going to come out and say something like this, or like tell my story. And she know I had been through so much, and I mean, any woman that listening to this or whatever, and I haven't even given to the thick of it, the crying nights and stuff like that or whatever, like it don't look good. So like I think that she was just more concerned of that or whatever, but she did check on me. But her main concern is her son. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little extra piece of tea. If Chrissy want to share, um, I don't know if you want to share this, but this is kind of petty, y'all. But whenever she reached out to you that time, I don't know if it. I think she reached out to you. It was her response. I don't know if it's when you first seen.
Oh God. Oh Jesus, I forgot I did share that.
When you first, if you want to share, when you first
Oh God,
seen
this is
the
just for
billboard, was it
some
the
comic
billboard?
relief. So when I first found out about it or whatever, I had told Johnell don't call me or whatever. I had blocked him, and I was on my way to go grab my car or whatever. Yeah, I was on my way to go grab my car or whatever, and she was just like, and she was checking on me for that and all of that kind of stuff, which was kind of like confusing to me a little bit too. But so I was on my way. My car ended up getting found in Orlando, so I was on my way back from Orlando to uh, to Atlanta or whatever, and she was checking on me. And like I told her, I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your son. I done blocked your son. All of this kind of stuff or whatever. Like, who is this girl or whatever that has like 4 kids, that's married, and all of this kind of stuff or whatever that he's talking to or whatever. I had found out about the billboard, all of that kind of stuff or whatever. And I was like upset, and she was just like, what are you talking about? I really don't be on social media. And I was just like, you know about this. Don't play with me. You know about this. But I ain't trying to be disrespectful to nobody's parent. And so she was just like, Chrissy, no. Like, where's she gonna go? Where's she gonna go? She's not coming to my house. I was just like, ma'am, I don't care who house she come to. I don't care who she is. I don't care how many kids that she got or whatever. She was like, no, a woman with all those kids, she's not coming to my house. And I said, I don't care. If she come to your house or Johnell house or whoever house, I'm done with y'all at that point or whatever. So that was the little thing or whatever that she said that I kind of like used to be making fun of when she was like, Chrissy, no, where's she going? I'm looking like, it looked like she going to your house, okay?
So, so basically, Mama let it be known early on that she wasn't too happy about that situation.
I mean, you can't choose. You can't choose nobody's mate. So,
That's
where
true,
did she go?
but it seemed like she got a big influence because, baby, she be with everything, you know. And I said this early on before I even seen anything as far as her, that you could tell that she's in his ear. Like, he's a mama's boy. I mean, that's obvious. Like, he values her opinion, what she says or whatever. And you could just tell based on their interaction.
Yeah, as any normal parent would be, regardless, because like our parents are people as well, right? As anybody would be. I'm gonna make sure, like, if that was my brother or something like that or whatever, it probably would have been a little different with this with this situation or whatever. Like, but if that was me, um, like talking to my brother and he was going through a lot of these kind of different things that they're going through now, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna make sure that I take care of our men because, and not to say it, I don't, I say this like lightly. If a woman is being mistreated or being abused and stuff like that, no, you should not be, nobody should be like condoning that or anything like that or whatever. But sometimes when you know, like, somebody might not be wrapped tight or going through something or whatever, you gonna make sure that your people are taken care of, or like at least they know your opinion of whatever is going on. So I'm sure it's some conversations probably been had. I feel like it was some conversations had about me, so you know.
Okay, I have a question. This is an audience question. Miss White, the Virgo, says, was Bree aware of your pregnancy and have she had any interaction with Bree at all?
Um, no, I don't deal with drama. So when I found out he was messing with somebody, like I told him he can go be over there. Um, but I don't know if she was aware or anything like that or whatever. I do know, like I said, I do know I have my suspicions of him entertaining somebody in between that time or whatever and stuff like that. But I don't know if she was aware of that. But it was something. But why you drop the tape on that day? Why you do certain things that you did the way that you did it? Now that I know, like, listening to, like, having interaction with somebody that's been following this stuff and all of that kind of stuff or whatever. I don't know. I can't say.
And keep in mind, y'all, that Chrissy is not privy to a lot of the information that we are privy to. She didn't see a lot of the stuff that happened, like the live streams with them on it. And like I said early on in the live, where it was, the FaceTime lives where Brie will be like, well, what about your girlfriend? Or he'll change the subject. Chrissy didn't see none of that. She's just hearing of those type of interactions or whatever. So, like she said, she pretty much cut his water dry when she found out what was what, and it wasn't a publicity stunt. Early on, when they were still in a relationship, he was making her and her family believe that the stuff Bree was doing was a publicity stunt.
Tried.
Yeah, he tried. I forgot about this. Can you share what he said about it was something when you told me something about him saying he's getting bigger now or something in a public relationship?
So it was we were like I said, I didn't have any recognition of this stuff going on or whatever, but he one time mentioned to me that he was just like, oh, I'm getting bigger, we're probably gonna have to make our relationship a secret. And I was just like, ain't no secret. Mm-mm. We're not doing that. And he was just like, I'm just saying because I might have to like pretend like I'm single because like, they don't like, what did he say? He said they don't like actors to have like spouses or significant others and stuff like that. And he was like, or if I did, I'm gonna have to like probably find somebody like that's famous and act like that we in a relationship. And I just told him like at that time or whatever, like if that's what we doing, we not doing nothing. If you want to go be single, go be single. If you want a relationship, then we gonna stay in a relationship. I don't believe in that or whatever because like I don't believe in the gimmicks. I believe like if you want to follow me, if you influencer or if you're in in the spotlight or if you're pursuing acting and all of those different things or whatever, you can be yourself to a certain extent or whatever. Yeah, I won't say hide things. You don't share as much or whatever, but like you don't have to do all of that or whatever. And I advised him that if somebody was telling him to do that, then I wouldn't do it because that's negative publicity or whatever, and you really don't want that because that's bad with your image being a new actor. So
you know what? I think by him telling you that, I think he was kind of trying to
set
the stage for them popping out.
Right. I feel like that's probably what
especially with him, even telling your cousin, oh, it's a publicity stunt with the whole billboard. He was trying to set the stage. That's what it's given, so where he could have you and her. No, sir.
Right. That wasn't happening. I'm sorry.
So we have another chat question, and Jay says, thank you, Jay, for the super chat. She says, do you think if Bree had not played the 304 role in Janelle's life, would y'all relationship have survived? Meaning, if Bree didn't come into the picture, do y'all think y'all would have still been together?
That's a loaded question, Bree. I mean, not Bree. What's your name? What was her name? You want to address her?
Jay.
Jay. That's a loaded question. I don't know. Like, it was like I said, it was going well. Until it wasn't. It's not her decisions. It's what he allowed to happen or whatever, and to do or whatever. So like, must not have been that as important as I thought it was to him. And I'm not gonna stay around for somebody treating me less than what I believe that I deserve, because I've never had that experience before. So he knew if he didn't treat me right, I wasn't gonna be around. Like, sometimes I don't know. I can't say yes, I can't say no. But if he started acting the way he was acting, regardless of whoever it was, no, we wasn't gonna be together. That goes for anybody.
My chat is very petty. Like, my support. Listen, wait.
I opened up the worms now, so y'all.
Chrissy, wait, hold up. You ain't seen this question yet, but I'm gonna pin it because my supporters are funny. Okay, they are hilarious. So I don't know if you know about the whole exposure situation, where it was a situation where Bree pretty much said that Johnell be plucking boogers and putting boogers on the wall, and so JP said, "Did he put boogers on your wall?"
Not that I know of. He would have been scrubbing that wall. Like I said, people be different people. Maybe he felt a little bit more comfortable with her, but no. I will give you. This is my home. Ain't nobody plucking no boogers and putting it nowhere over here, okay?
I'm so weak.
And if you did, I'm gonna whoop you like the little kids. What is wrong with you? What did you do? No, I'm just joking.
Bruh, y'all get on my nerves, I swear. Not the boogers.
No.
Oh my God. Let's see. So I'm not gonna pin this one, Nene, but Nene says, in your opinion, does Ja have a bruiser tendencies?
In my opinion, like I said, when we did have our incident or whatever, it was triggering to me. It was triggering to me. Like I said, I told him during that time when we was having that argument when we were out of town in South Africa, you're reminding me of my stepfather. My stepfather was an abuser or whatever. And I remember, like I said, I remember him asking me he reminds me of that. Why am I with him? And I told him I won't be if I see any behavior like this before. But so with that, it was triggering to me or whatever. But surpassed that, like I said, he didn't drink. He didn't show those different things or whatever, like, to me. But like I said, different women bring different things out of men. So I don't know, but that wasn't gonna be the case, because y'all be covering a whole different story, okay?
I agree, and this is a prime example of knowing your person, being with your person, and different people bringing out different reactions, y'all. Like, this is a prime, and this is one of the things that I value in being able to speak with Chrissy, because her experience is not Bree's experience. Just like if Johnell and Bree break up or whatever, or if they are broken up and they move on, that experience will be different because different people bring out different reactions, But I can also say that once in a bruiser, always in a bruiser. And maybe Chrissy just didn't get to that point in that relationship. He knew he couldn't play with her like that because, when they did have their isolated incident, It wasn't physical, y'all. Y'all have to watch the live from the beginning to get the details. But she basically let him know, like, this ain't that. This ain't that. So, everything is different for different relationships.
I have,
mm-hmm.
Like I said, with him or anybody else, I haven't experienced that for myself firsthand. But I'm very protective over myself as well from my own experience prior, like from my childhood and different things like that. It would never have gotten to that point for me. And when you have seen different things like that or whatever, growing up and stuff or whatever, and this is things to pay attention to if people are dealing with this and have children or whatever. You have coping mechanisms that you pick up just regularly. If a man get loud, I get quiet. I don't want to frazzle him. Not saying that will stop somebody from doing whatever they said that they was gonna do or whatever. If I feel like that you super angry like that or whatever, I'm gonna leave. Like it just is what it is. I'm going to try my best never to put myself in a situation or whatever for that to happen, and it still could happen. But that's just how I handle it. Now, if somebody buck up at me, I'm gonna buck back. Like it just is what it is, and that has helped me or whatever. Where I have learned, don't even let them think that they could do something like that. Not saying that some people are just crazy and they'll cross the line and they have issues that they have to deal with or whatever that I know people have experienced. I just have not experienced it.
Okay, listen, it's the bucking back for me, baby. Like, let them know early, I am not to be played with. Miss Floria, thank you for the super sticker. She says, Chrissy, you have always been my girl from day one. I love your spirit. You recognize Miss Floria?
Thank you, Miss Gloria.
No, Floria, Miss Floria.
Oh, Floria?
She may follow you. She probably follows you on your social media pages.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I think she left some messages to me before. She writes under my under some of my posts or whatever. I know who that is. Yes, thank you.
So Miss White coming through with the good questions, baby. Miss White says, and thank you, Miss White, for the super chat. She says, does she find it out of Johnell's character to accept all the monetary gifts from Bree, or was he known to hold his own financially or opportunist? That's a good one.
So for me, he was known to hold his own financially or whatever. Did I gift him? I'm a giving person. Yes, I have given him. I've given him gifts for like just special occasions or whatever. Like when he closed his what was it? It was like when he wrapped his show. I gave him a gift. I gave him also the gift to Puerto Rico. But what was surprising to me about that or whatever, he really didn't know about it, but he ended up giving me my money back for the trip. And then the gifts that I gave him during the trip or whatever, and the excursions that we did, I didn't let him pay me back for it or whatever, but he paid me back for it. He would send me money randomly, make sure that, like some of my maintenance was done or whatever and stuff like that. He did make it clear that he was like, I ain't no man to be giving a whole bunch of money or whatever. But I always just was all like, well, if I'm not gonna be with somebody that I want something or need something and can't give me some of my wants, I'm not about to do that. I'm sorry. And I didn't really ask or anything like that, but he was generous. So he wasn't a leech.
Okay, listen. Y'all so petty. Y'all get on my nerves. Not the booty bandit. So I don't know. I don't know if you privy to this, or maybe I might have told you on the phone. I don't know, but I did. Okay, so she don't know about Pretty Bree, y'all. She wasn't around for that. And like I said,
know what you told me.
Yeah, she's not privy to a lot of the stuff that has transpired throughout the saga. Only what like a family member send her and stuff like that. Yeah. But I did tell you about the Tasha K interview or whatever, and the situation with Pretty Bree saying that he looking for Ida or whatever. You know what an Ida is?
I know what that is. I mean, I ain't under a rock nowhere or whatever. That's why he was looking, because you wasn't looking for all that over here, okay?
So well, that pretty much answered the question.
That's why you was looking, because you knew that that was new information to me. Cause look, if my hands get a little too close back there, what is going on? Who you talking to? Who you messing with? And what they look like? That's
okay.
all.
Listen. I'm so weak. So that's for the ones that's asking about that situation, y'all. She didn't, she wasn't around for the pretty breed situation. Thank you, Wisdom Warrior, for the super sticker. I appreciate your support, my girl. I'm trying to find any other questions. Okay, Miss Bridget says, Chrissy, when you told him you were pregnant, what was his reaction?
He was excited. He was excited or whatever. When we came back from our trip to Africa or whatever, he was less excited, and we was talking about all of that kind of stuff or whatever. And I think his emotions got the best of it. Like I told him, I didn't want him to tell his mom. I don't know if he did or not. And she was in his ear a little bit or whatever and stuff like that. I don't know what their conversation was or anything like that, but like he was excited, and then it just kind of switched. He was just like, he wasn't. I don't, like I said, I feel like, well, we know that he was starting a new relationship with somebody else or anything or something like that or whatever, or what his mom said. He went from excited to not being excited. And I mean, men go through that. They get scared and all of that kind of stuff or whatever. Hell, I was scared. So I don't know. Yeah, but in the beginning, he was excited.
Okay. So thank you, bad gal, Libra.
I'll say even to the point when I lost it, he was like, "Oh, we'll try again in a year," and I was like, "No, we ain't." Mm-mm. Especially without we being married, but that's what I was just thinking at the time.
Oh, he wanted to try again, child.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Well, you definitely dodged that one.
Thank you, Lord.
So, bad gal Libra, thank you for the super chat. She says, did y'all ever discuss the types of women he likes? And basically, to your knowledge, does Bree fit the description?
So, technically, we didn't talk about the women that he liked or whatever, because I was always taught, you don't bring no other woman up. You don't bring no other woman name up or whatever when it's you and your man, because you don't put them on their mind. But when we went to go visit his grandmother or whatever, she had kind of like alluded to me like what kind of women that he kind of liked or whatever, because she was just like, she used to call me Peaches, and she was like, Peaches, like, I really like you. You can come visit me anytime. And like, because I sat and talked with her, and we just had a good time. She taught me how to like make sweet potato bread and all of this kind of stuff or whatever, like some different Jamaican like type of things that because her nationality is Jamaican. It was his dad's mom. And she was just like, I like you. I can take you. Come on, take me to the store, Peaches. My friends can see you, because that other girl that he brought over to meet me quite some time ago or whatever, she had on belly shirts and all this kind of stuff and hoochie mama pants. She said, I couldn't take her around my friends, but you a nice, respectable girl. And she told Johnell, she was like, I don't know, she might be a little too good for you or whatever. I was just like, okay. So that was my insight to knowing what he usually bring around, I guess. So
it's something when your grandma tell you. His grandma.
Baby.
His grandma told Chrissy that she was too good for him. So that speaks volumes in my opinion, baby. Because when the other family say something like that to me shows that if they're non-biased and they gonna call their people out on their BS, pretty much. And she compared you to what he's normally bringing around or whatever.
So, she told me she didn't think I was gonna last too. She did say that. She said, I don't think it's gonna last with y'all, but just please come visit me. If I was just like, this lady is
no ma'am.
Wow.
Once I leave the family member, that's it. We ain't keeping no grandmas or no cousins or none of that. Okay.
Right. I don't know. I ain't going to go visit. I don't want to pop up and then somebody be there or something like that. No, I ain't that. No.
That's weird. But
Yeah.
thank you, April, for that super chat. April says, how is Chrissy going to handle the backlash that she is going to receive from doing this interview? What's her plan? I don't think y'all, in my opinion, if I'm gonna let you answer this, but in my opinion, if they have backlash based on this, that's crazy because this is very transparent. Like I said, this was her story. You can't, not accept her story and how it happened in her vision. That would be crazy to me. Like, how can somebody respond with backlash towards this situation if it's her story? That was her man at the time.
I'll I'll give you my response to that now because I don't plan on being on here to hear all of the backlash or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I came on this platform to tell my story. Actually, when the stuff came out or whatever, something about her pregnancy or something like that or whatever, and he was tripping on her. One of my cousins, one of my cousins had texted me, and I don't talk to her very often. She's one of my younger cousins, girl cousins or whatever. And she was just like, I'm so happy that you got out of that or whatever. I'm so happy that you're not with him because like the girl that he with, she going through it or whatever, and he doing her, like he was trying to do you. And me being a role model to my younger family members and stuff like that or whatever, I was just like, we don't do that. We don't do that. Like, what she going through is what she going through or whatever, but they don't have nothing to do with me or whatever. And I pray her, whatever happens to her or whatever, she don't go through it like that. And that's when I knew I was just really kind of healed from the situation or whatever. Because before I was just like, get him, Lord, get him, but like do him like Daniel, do like Daniel asked, get him, Jesus. But when I said that or whatever, I said that from a pure space, as well as I don't want people to go through stuff like this or whatever. Like if it's unhealthy for either party or whatever, I want them to figure it out, like I figured it out, and all of those different things or whatever. So I didn't come on here for backlash or anything like that or whatever. Like if God can use me as a voice, because you're supposed to treat your enemies more kind than your neighbor. If you look at the word and all of that kind of stuff or whatever, if God can use me as a voice, if somebody can get healing out of it or whatever, or if they can prepare for their family that is coming or whatever, like, and can get that out of it, I did what I was supposed to do or whatever. I prayed about this. I didn't talk to people that I felt like would tell me don't come and tell my story and different things like that. Like Luke Pocket said, my story is my story. And I can only tell it from my perspective or whatever, but I'm not telling this to hurt or harm anybody or whatever. But when, like I said, when my cousin brought that up to me, it's other people that are listening to this. I have other younger cousins, it's other young women that are listening to this or whatever, and all of that kind of stuff. And somebody got to be the responsible one to take real accountability. And so, and be accountable for what you putting out there or whatever, or what you saying and all of this kind of stuff or whatever. So like, yeah, I'm not on no, oh, get her like you got me or whatever, or oh, treat him like this or whatever. That ain't for me. So I probably won't listen to the backlash.
Exactly. At the end of the day, like I said, this is your story. Can't nobody take your story away from you. And that's how I pretty much don't respond. Like I block out everything because I have a goal. YouTube is a business. This is my platform. I try to keep it professional. And I try to ignore all the outside chatter that's used as a form of deflection or anything like that. And this is why I told y'all Chrissy is not privy to a lot of the stuff that transpired. And that's why, I see a lot of y'all questions in the chat involving the saga, but she's not aware of a lot of that stuff. She can only speak from her experience, because most of the stuff that she
I
did
blocked it
find
out.
out came from a family member,
Yeah, I blocked most of it out, and it would make me cringeworthy sometimes when they would bring it up and just different things like that or whatever, because I was still dealing with my feelings and what happened or whatever, like to me personally or whatever. I couldn't deal with it at that time or whatever. I didn't want to hear any of that or whatever. That's why I didn't really respond. It was people that was asking me for my story before. It was people that was reaching out and just all of that kind of stuff or whatever. And I just was so like, I'm not in that space to be able to do that. And I declined a lot of the times. Well, all of the times.
See, I didn't even know that, y'all. That's why I say ain't nothing but God. I didn't know people had reached out to you prior trying to get you to speak on it. And Chrissy actually reached out to me, y'all, because I don't know if it was you heard me speaking on it one day, and I was speaking from what I had knew of, because Chrissy
Yeah.
hasn't said anything since the saga has been going on. So I only knew a few details based on some backing information and, just kind of being in the saga since the beginning. So I was just speaking based off of what I seen as far as Chris's involvement and stuff like that. So it was basically trying to fill in the blanks and whatever else. But
I got familiar with Lupac right before I reached out to her or whatever, because like I said, those are the stories that my cousin would send me, that was following it or whatever. That my cousin would send me, some of my aunts would send me, just different things. Now my aunt sent me everything. She didn't know how to deal with that tablet, baby. But like she tried not even say send me, because she knew that it like it was bothering me or whatever. But she kind of like wanted me to know, like, you ain't missing nothing, girl. All of that kind of stuff or whatever. So she would tell me about the stories that she heard, and most of the time she would hear it off of Facebook, honestly. Because she is the Facebook queen. If you ever want to know anything, you got to ask her.
And you didn't say nothing bad anyway. So if somebody takes this interview and run with it as a means to bash or be malicious, then that's on them, baby. They got to deal with God at the end of the day. Like I keep stressing, can't nobody take your story from you. You were affected in this situation. So if people can't see it from that aspect, you had to go through a whole healing journey.
And so many people hide their
Bree and
story.
Robert weren't the only ones affected in this situation. Period.
Even though this is a public story, so many people hide their story. So many people choose to hide their story. And at first, I was choosing to hide my story. I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to appear weak. I didn't want to appear like I had been through something or whatever and stuff like that. And like, but it's important for people to hear this version too or whatever, because you don't just get to that. You don't just get to that or whatever. Maybe it could help somebody decide, hey, I ain't gonna go talk to that other girl, or hey, I'm gonna work it out with whatever I got going on, or any of that. Like maybe make a different decision, or a woman saying like, yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out what I got going on over here. The grass ain't greener, or whatever the case may be, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I was just thinking, like, just to help somebody else, not to say to help those people or whatever, but help somebody else, because it's reaching so many people. People are still watching this. This is almost 2 years past that or whatever. I have moved on. My dating life is great. Thank you. But like, for people still to be sliding in my DM, for family members still feeling like that they need to say something or whatever and stuff like that, and I don't hear nothing. Like when people do tell me what they tell me, I don't hear nothing positive. I'm like, really? I don't know. That's just me as a person.
And for the ones who may say, well, why is she speaking out now? That was so long ago. This is the thing. That's why she explained her healing journey, because it could have been a point early on where she spoke on it and this interview could have went totally different. Because when you in a healing journey and it's still fresh and certain things trigger you or get you to respond in a manner that you would normally respond, exactly, it could have went totally different. But because she actually went through her healing journey and there's no hard feelings, she can speak now from a perspective of actually giving Brie advice, before, granted, if you wasn't in your healing journey or you hadn't healed from it, this conversation would have went totally different, y'all. So people need to be mindful.
Thank you, Lord, for deliverance.
Oh, what? Because, like, it is what it is. Regardless of how it paints certain people, it happened. People have to be held accountable for their actions and how they do people, period.
So, but that's not our job.
Exactly.
Our job is not to hold somebody accountable. God will hold them accountable. God will do whatever you need him to do or whatever. And he sees every tear that falls.
Yep.
He sees every conversation that was not had with for him, that was had just with him, and those thoughts that's in your mind or whatever. I don't have to do no get back. I ain't got to do that. And I like I said, if you really in your word, and then you won't turn it into a Bible study, you think about like King David or whatever. He was like, he asked God to go get him. But it's so many other people that are in the Bible or whatever that ask, well, God asks us to pray for our enemies. Pray for people that are doing you wrong, that speak on you wrong, and all of that kind of stuff or whatever. They know that they're doing wrong, and still choose to do it or whatever. We're supposed to pray for them. And I get that, because like they had a story before I entered into the story. I had a story before this chapter in my life as well. So.
Okay, so thank you, Michelle Holmes, for the super chat. She says, did she feel that Johnell was in love with her?
I knew he was in love with me.
I mean, y'all, that's kind of like they were in a 2-year relationship, y'all.
Right. I knew he was in love with me. I knew I had love for him. Like, like that is what it is. Like we decided to be in a relationship or whatever. I knew he was in love with me. But, in love, like it's so many different versions of that. It's like in love. Oh, I still love you, but I might not be in love, and just different things like that or whatever. It's different levels to different relationships at different times.
I agree. So I have one last question myself, and it was brought about, kind of looking at the chat and stuff like that. Based on your interaction with him, and even, y'all didn't have no kids outside of, your miscarriage situation, but just based on your interaction, the 2-year relationship, even seeing him interact with maybe cousins or little kids, how do you feel he will be as a father moving forward?
I feel like he has some growing to do, maybe based on like probably how he was raised and how he views certain things or whatever. But I really think he'll be good with kids. I remember one time, and I'm very selective on who I allow to do different things or whatever. I believe he'll be good with kids. I remember one time I have a little cousin, she's like a niece or whatever, that lived in Atlanta, and I would help out her, my older cousin, her mom, with her, and I couldn't get to her fast enough, and I had asked him to grab her from the bus stop, and he did. I mean, his mom knew that. I mean, her mom knew that I had asked him. She felt comfortable with it. I felt comfortable with it. He grabbed her from the bus stop or whatever and met me right down the street or whatever. But yeah, like she liked him. She asked about him all the time and all that kind of stuff or whatever. And he did all the kid things or whatever. We took her to Candytopia and just all of this kind of stuff, bought everything for her and all of that kind of stuff or whatever, and made sure that she had a good time and all of that. So like he was good Yeah, he was good with kids. I think he's a little bit like a kid. So I think that he would be good. Of course, you know, sometimes people are different with their own kids. So
Hmm. Yeah, you can kind of tell,
yeah.
I guess, based on their interactions, but it's a different ball game once you start having your own kids. So,
Or once you become responsible for somebody else's kid, it's cool to
yep,
be the auntie or the uncle or the this and all of that kind of stuff or whatever. But your own, like, that responsibility is heavy. So on men, on women, of course, but like on men to take on that responsibility or whatever, you really got to have your mind made up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yep, I agree. So I don't see any more questions as far as the chat is concerned.
Okay.
But I want to say thank you again so much, Chrissy, for coming and tell your story. Hopefully, everyone just look at it from an unbiased perspective outside of who they favor and, oh, that's my favorite, so we ain't gonna hear it. Like, just open your eyes. At the end of the day, everybody has a story to tell. This is hers. You cannot take that away from her. But I thank you for coming and choosing my platform to tell your story. I wish you many blessings moving forward in your, I know I don't think you're still on your healing journey at this point, but, just moving forward
Oh,
with anything yeah, with anything
with
you
from
have
other stuff,
going
other stuff.
on. Hopefully, when you're not busy, I can get you back on here. Not even about that situation, but just about mental health and,
Yeah.
advocating for DV victims and stuff like that. It won't be nothing about dealing with this situation because we don't want to keep bringing it up. This was one and done pretty much. But
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you giving us your time, baby. Miss White say now that the interview is ending at this moment, how do you feel? Better, relieved, or regretful? Regardless, thank you for your time, energy, and effort. May God continue to bless you, love.
Thank you so much. I feel so much. I feel relieved. I really do feel relieved. I'm glad that I was able to come on here. You guys have made me comfortable to tell my story. All of those different type of things. Thank you, Lupac. Like I said, I was led to give you, like, to share this with you or whatever, and I think that was all God and all God's plan and in His timing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree because especially if during the time frame, y'all, like Chrissy reached out to me, it was in August. I didn't see it till September. That's the crazy part. So that's why I say it was nothing but God, because I don't even be on that platform. So it just so happened I randomly checked it and then boom. So
Yeah.
that's God. That ain't nothing but God. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Chrissy, if you want, you can drop off and I'll just say my ending remarks or whatever. You don't have to stay up for that.
Oh,
But
I'm
like I
fine.
said, thank you. I really, really appreciate you for coming and telling your story because it's your story, at the end of the day, regardless of how they perceive it, who like it. I see it's a lot of love in the chat right now. Okay, we got over 1,500 people in here, and
Wow.
it's a lot of
Oh
love.
my God.
Yeah, it's a lot of love right
Well,
now.
follow me in other situations. I don't be saying
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
can
stuff out there, but I feel like my content is good.
I was about to say that you can pin whatever you need, tell them where to follow you, give them your website, for the what you do and
I,
all of that. Let them know.
I would say most importantly, and we're still a growing platform. Peace of Mind organization. It's Peace of Mind, all one word, organization.org. Um, that's our platform. If you want to help the cause or anything like that or whatever, that's our platform for mental health awareness. That's majorly important. Most of my social media and stuff like that is me personal. So if you want to continue to follow me or something like that or whatever, you can follow me on IG at Chrissy underscore JAI. It comes up as the beauty broker because I'm still in real estate. And that is like my platform. I help beauty professionals open up their businesses. Most of the time, it's brick and mortar. Um, yeah, it's all day Chrissy J on on YouTube. I like most of the time I post lifestyle stuff or whatever. I don't have a lot of stuff up there right now, but I post lifestyle stuff or whatever. So if you want to stay tuned, those are the ways that you can.
And a lot of people had asked for your Cash App information, but for some reason, whenever you try to type it in, like it keeps giving an error message. So maybe you have it to where you can't go, like with the hyphenated link, you can't go straight to it. So I don't know what that is, but I see my mod said she tried to get it, y'all, and you
Or
have to
maybe it's
actually
not. Maybe it doesn't have my underscore in there. It might be Chrissy
No,
JAI.
it's no underscore. It's no underscore, but they have to type it in. So if you guys try to send her a Cash App blessing or whatever, you have to type her name in. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let me see.
And I'm sending all of that to my organization. Just let y'all know, whatever. That's where that's going. If that's what you decide to do.
Hold on. Let's see. So it's no underscore.
Mm.
Okay, that's her Cash App, y'all, but y'all have to type it in. Y'all have to go to Cash App and type it in because it won't take you to it through the hyphenated link. It'll only say error message. So, but if you type it in, I just put it in the chat. I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna pin it in the chat or whatever. It'll take you, you just have to type it in. Go to Cash App and type it in. But thank y'all so much. Before I get off of here, I just want to shout out everybody who sent me a super chat because I did say I was gonna shout. Thank you, Grace and Mercy, for getting a membership. Thank you, Amelia Too Cute, Miss Geraldine, Raw Truth with the membership, Grown Woman Status, Cancer 66, Truth Slayer, Love Me, My Black is Beautiful, Honey Williams. We got Nene with the membership, Tony Williams, all five of me with the super chat, Miss Lolita, Miss Angela Dickerson, Miss Vernette, Spicy Brown, Tamika Woodard with the membership, Miss Shanae Bevins, Integrity, Black Panther, Minnie, Wisdom Warrior, Renee H, Miss White, Nene One, Miss Glenda Bride, Terry, Cancer 66, Dorona, Nita M, Miss White again, JJ, JP, Nene, Miss Floria, Miss White, Gemini Rising, Angela Dickerson again, Wisdom Warrior, Miss Bridget, Bad Gal Libra, Respectfully April, Black Panther, Michelle Holmes, Madeline, Miss White again, JP, let's see, Raquel and Nene. Thank you guys all for the support throughout this live stream. This is new for me because we ain't never had this many. I think the most I had in the chat was 1,000. So 1,500, close to 1,600 is a lot. Okay. Thank God I ain't had to operate the chat because if I was doing that, baby, that would have been tough. That would have been tough, y'all. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer because it is Sunday. I know tomorrow is Monday, a work day. Thank you, Blessed Queen. I see you just came through with another super chat. Oh Lord, she say, did he ever buy you gifts and take them back?
No. Anything you give me, it stays here. Yeah.
Oh, what? It's one thing to take them back, but baby, you gotta get it from me, okay? Ain't no Indian giver, okay?
Right.
Mm-mm.
No offense to saying that, but like
For real, you ain't taking back nothing. If you gave it, you gave it for a reason. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad y'all enjoyed this live. Chrissy, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Sunday. And I love you guys. And I'll see y'all probably tomorrow. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. If y'all just getting in here, y'all gonna have to catch the replay and make sure y'all hit the like button on y'all way out. Bye, y'all.